Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for the background noise. The the man of the house is not asleep.
Oh, it's okay. We are mothers, so I'm sure they understand. I'm sure they understand if there's a kid in the household, it has to be noisy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
okay, so everyone, you're welcome to our channel. This is Chris and Tina's channel, or Tina and Chris channel. Today, as we discussed the last time, we were going to start a series about basically our lives as mothers and Ghanaians married outside of our race. So and how we are raising our children and everything, what we are learning, what some of the challenges. So today I'm here with CraftyAjo. We planned this together. So for today she's going to lead the program, and so CraftyAjo, you are welcome to this channel.
Thank you.
Let's take it from there.
Thanks for
I'm handing
having me.
over to you.
All right, so my name is Marian, and like she said, we are both Ghanaian, we are both in Zima, we are both like new mothers navigating this motherhood journey in a foreign land, away
Yeah.
from our main support system. In our culture, if you give birth, and even if you live in a different town, your neighbors will always be there to help you with the kids. But here it's different. So it's kind of a very hard situation to deal with if you're not used to it. So, yeah, watching each other online, we realized we had a lot in common when it comes to this situation. So, we decided to link up, and here we are today. So, today we are going to be talking about raising bilingual children. So, I personally, like I said, I'm in Zima, but also I grew up in Takrade, and Takrade, they speak Fanti. Even though it's an Ahanta land, they
Yeah.
speak Fanti. So I grew up speaking Fanti with my friends. And then in class six and then form one, I was in the boarding house. But the funny thing about that was that most of the girls that came to the boarding house were from Kumasi, Accra, and they spoke Tree.
Oh.
So I learned how to speak Tree in the boarding house. So I can speak Fanti, I can speak Tree, and I speak my native language, which is in Zima. And I learned my native language with my mom at home. Yeah. Our dad will usually speak English with us.
Okay.
Even though he spoke in Zima, he would speak English with us. But then our mom made sure that we would speak the Nzima language. There was one time she's like, anybody who speaks Fanti in this house, I will knock you. I will knock you. So we spoke in Nzima with our mom. Like if she asks you a question in Nzima and you respond with Fanti or English, she will look at you and then you know that she's trying to tell
The
you.
African
Even
mother eyes.
yeah, we used to say, "Hey, the eyes, mommy, more the eyes." Yeah, so that is how we learned our language. So that is how I'm able to speak three different Ghanaian languages: one through friends, one through school, and then the other through my family at home. These are the languages I speak. Over to you, Anna. I said Anna, Augustina.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome. So before I get to mine, you are all welcome to our page. I see Tana, Dog, Certain Place. You are all welcome to our page. Uh, Tana, so we are both from Ghana and we currently live in the United States. So we are sharing our journey of being in the United States and raising biracial children and then being married from outside our race. So that is what we are just doing. So today's topic, we are talking about raising bilingual children. So please, kindly like the video when you join, and kindly share when you join. If you have any questions or contributions, please put it in the comment section. So for me, how many languages do I speak? So I speak the Nzuma language, I speak Fanti, I speak a little bit of Chi, right? I think it's also three
Okay.
for the Ghanaian languages, and then I speak English, obviously.
Okay.
So four. So for me, I learned the Nzima. We speak Nzima language at home. I grew up in Axim, so we speak Nzima language at home. My mom is Fanti,
Okay.
but she also partly grew up in Axim. So, but then she's from Shama, so most of the times when she meets with her family members, they speak the Fanti language. So, but then the funny aspect of it is that I couldn't even learn the Fanti language from my mom.
Really?
Yes, I had to learn the Fanti language from school, like from my colleagues, my peers in school.
Mhm.
So um thank you. So I got to learn the Fanti language in the boarding house. You know, in Ghana, those of you who do not know, in Ghana, we go to senior high school in the boarding house. Most of us, we have day and then we have boarding house,
I
but
went to
then
the.
most. Oh, okay. You went for day. I went to the boarding house. So, in secondary college, and then so in secondary college, they speak like it's, as you said, in Takoradi, it's a Fanti town, although it's an Ahanta land,
Yep.
but they speak Fanti. So I got to learn Fanti in the boarding house, and then also a little bit of Chi in the boarding house, because it's a boarding house and we had people all over Ghana coming
Mhm.
to the boarding house, and even sometimes we had foreign students also coming to the school. So yeah, but the funny the funny aspect of it is that I remember my first year or my first semester, there were eight of us from my school in Axim that
Oh.
went to secondary college.
So then
So
you guys
from
in it. Ma.
yeah, and we were all speaking in Zuma. So when we try speaking the Fanti, or when we try speaking Fanti, they would laugh at us. Like
Oh,
they knew right away that we were from Nzumaland. Like we just didn't know how to speak the
that's a
Fanti
funny
language.
story.
I was I was like, really? My mom should have taught me this thing. I remember back home in Axim, whenever my mom sends me to someone who speaks Fanti, my
Mm-hmm.
mom will have to repeat the words to me in the Fanti
Oh.
language. And then when on my way going, I'll keep on repeating it to myself to like
Oh.
to like get there.
That is
So
interesting.
yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
even that, I didn't even learn the fancy language at home.
Oh.
I got to learn the fancy language in the boarding house. So, and then a little bit of tree in the boarding house. So that was my part. So I speak Nzema language, Fanti, and a little bit of tree, and then the English language. And actually, I read the Nzema language. I can read and write the
I
Nzema
can't
language.
that.
And then I can read the fancy language too.
I can kind of, because at church when there were like activities, they'll make us write and read
Mhm,
it, like yeah, announcing the chairperson or
mhm,
the vote of thanks after a program. I could, and I learned Fanti. I learned Fanti from primary to JHS. I wrote BEC
mhm.
on it, so I'm supposed to be able to read it, but it's not something that I do often, so I don't really remember.
Oh, okay.
And with the Fanti, the Takrady Fanti is different from the Cape Coast Fanti. The
Exactly.
boarding house I went to was in Cape Coast, and when I spoke my Fanti, they would
Mhm.
make fun of me and laugh at me. And then when I left the boarding house and came back to Takrady and went to school in Takrady, when I spoke the
Mhm.
Cape Coast Fanti, they will make
No,
fun of me. So now I can speak both the Takrady Fanti and the
and then
Cape
the
Coast
gym goes,
Fanti.
that's really
That's
funny. Yeah.
your story is an interesting story, which is
Yeah, like it's just like sometimes you don't even think about it, but you just trying to talk about it
Mhm.
now, you realize that it's unique.
Yeah.
It's very unique that like Yeah, like just right now sitting here remembering like our first semester in secondary college
Mhm.
with my colleagues. I'm just remembering stuff. I'm like, oh god, it was so funny. Like like even for me, I was a little bit okay than my colleagues who
Colleague,
came
they
from
were
like
green.
Izima in
They were green. You know, a funny thing is the Axim and Zima, there's a lot
Mhm.
of fancy influence in there. When I first came to Axim, I told you I've been to Axim once. When I came to Axim and they would speak the Nzima, I'm like, oh, it's like they're speaking fancy.
Fancy.
Like, so some of the guys we came with, all of them are from Taka, they could kind of understand the Nzima. Even though people find it difficult to understand Nzima,
Mhm.
found
Yeah,
it easier because there was a little bit of
a
fun
little bit of
here and
fancy
there.
in there. Yeah. So yeah, that is me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we've
that
done
is me.
introduction for 11 minutes, so I guess we'll just dive right
It's
into the
the
question.
questions.
So, I got these questions off the internet.
So
So,
okay.
I didn't make them, but I felt they were like really good questions we could talk about. So, the first question is, does speaking more than one language confuse your child? What's your that?
Do you want me to go first or
Yeah.
you want?
Yes, go first.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, I'm still right now. Currently, I'm having issues with my son's speech. Um, I've not really figured out if it's me speaking different languages that is confusing him. Because I've had two different opinions. Okay. We had to go see a therapist. And then we had this state therapist come in, like a speech therapist
Mhm.
come in into our house to like observe him.
Okay.
And then she was like, we have to try and then speak only one language to him at this point. And I'm like, okay, because initially I was speaking I was actually I speak more of the Zima language and then English to
Okay.
him. But then sometimes fancy will come in, you know. So, but it's more of the Nzima language and then the English language, and his dad speaks more of the English language to him. So, but then we went to see like another specialist that his pediatrician recommended.
Mm-hmm.
When we went, we were told that we should keep on speaking the two languages to him. So it's kind of there is a conflict here, you know? And the thing is, it's natural with me. I can't stop speaking my language,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Even with my husband, sometimes when I get mad at him, I I speak English and Zuma fancy all together.
I
I
do the same
I
thing.
speak, he will tell you. I speak everything, all the languages that I know
I do
at
the same
once
thing.
to my husband.
And then when I say it, then he'll try and repeat it too. I'm like, yeah. I do the same thing, which is funny. That's so funny.
Yes. So that for me right now, I'm trying to figure out if that is what is really affecting my son's speech. Cause like he's very vocal right now, blabbing a lot. Like you will see him blabbing a lot. But then I don't know what he's saying. That is the thing. And as a mother, I'm worried about it. But then the state therapist also said we'll have to wait when he's 2 years old for them to come back. So I'm praying that by the time he gets to 2 years old, he will be saying his words. I talked to my mom about it and like some other few women who saw him, they were like, when he starts blabbing a lot like that, he's about to talk, like
Exactly.
actually use his words. So I shouldn't be so worried about it. I'm like, okay, I'm really praying he starts using his words because when he wants something, he will let me know what he wants.
Okay.
He will like when I'm sitting here, he wants food. He'll pull me to the kitchen,
Oh,
and then
communication.
when he wants TV, he will take me to the living room and put
Your son is smart. That's communication.
put, put me in front of the TV. Sometimes he will go look for the remote himself, like, and
He's
then he'll
smart.
put the TV on trying to find the channel. If he doesn't find it, then he'll bring the remote to me to
Oh,
and then
that's
pull me to.
communication. That's
But can
communicate.
you please use your words? That would be helpful. Like that would be very helpful. But I can't force him. So for me, the in conclusion, right now, I don't really know. I cannot really tell if I'm confusing him or if it's helping. But I know that if he's able to learn the three languages that I know, the three Ghanaian languages that I know, that would be very helpful to him.
Mhm.
Like knowing different languages also helps the child with helps their brain and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to piggyback off your last statement. He is going to, the blabbing means he's going to start talking very soon. And
Okay.
I did a class 2 semesters ago, and the psychologist said kids who learn multiple languages are rich in language. They may
Okay.
say because there's so many languages they have to learn, but they have more vocabulary than the kids who speak just one language. And I feel like it's not, it won't confuse the kids that are like they pick up everything. No matter what you give them, they will absorb it. That's why you have to give them the things you want them to have. So
Mhm.
if you want him to know the language, just speaking the languages with I agree
Okay.
with her, especially because my professor is like, nah, it may take time because there's so many things, but then the child will be rich with different languages. I'm going to use my younger sister as an example, a very young one. She's currently 13 years. She could speak plenty and then, but it took her a while because there were so many languages. But then when she started speaking, it was so fun. Like she would mix the fancy, the Nzema, and my Jimmy Fele, like Fele Nzema, Waje is, and then my name. So she's mixing up the languages, but she's fluent now. She speaks all three languages. She's so good in
That's good.
three. We don't know where she. Well, I think we know because she went to visit my mom's friend in Kumasi and lived with her for a while. She speaks good. She speaks better Tree than I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do not stop doing what you are doing because it doesn't confuse them. It might be a lot, and they might not know the difference, but
Mhm.
when they start understanding it, it will help the kid tremendously. So I agree.
Okay.
And therapist, it's good you went for a second opinion because sometimes getting a second opinion helps. So
Okay.
good job. In my opinion, I don't think it's confusing the child. My daughter also does a lot of babbling, and I don't know what she's saying. But there was one time she was singing, and this is a song that we usually play in the house. Yeah, Jesus loves me, and
Mhm.
yeah, and then she would say some other things, and then go again, yeah, and then I'm like, okay, I played the song and then she started going, yeah. I'm like, oh, so this is what you were singing. So they
Mhm.
communicate with that without us really like know, but then we know what they want. And communication is not only about the speech. Just like you were worried about your son not being able to use his words. I have a step kid who has cerebral palsy and cannot speak.
Oh, okay.
She has other ways of communicating with us. In the beginning, I'm like, oh, I wish she would speak. But then she has her way of communicating with you. If she wants
Mhm.
the bathroom, she has a way of telling you. If she wants to eat, she has a way of telling you. If she wants to drink, she has a way of telling you. So she can say some words, but then she's able to express herself not only with words, but with her actions. And that's
Mhm.
also an example of communication. So the fact
Yeah.
that your son will bring you the remote
Yeah, he brings
and
the
you
remote.
know what he's saying, that's a form of communication. And that is
Yeah. Mhm.
not verbal, but the person they are self to themselves to express what they want to tell you. So don't worry about it. And boys, well, I don't know if that is true, but boys usually take a while to speak than girls.
Okay. Okay.
Boys
Yeah.
teaching. One of my first jobs was teaching in a school, and I taught from class 4 all the way to JHS, and then I went to crèche to teach crèche. So I've been all over. And the children in the crèche, the girls were more vocal and
Mm-hmm.
than the boys. But then when the boys get speaking, you can't stop them. So
Yeah.
it takes it will come. Don't fight it. Like don't worry about it. It will come. And
Okay.
just keep doing what you're doing, speaking all the languages. He might mix them up. Like Mario like he might mix them up, but then in the end, your child is going to be rich in languages. Okay,
Okay.
let's go to the next question. What is the best way to raise a child with multiple languages? We kind of touched on that, but you go ahead. Oh,
The best way. As we touched on it right now,
mhm.
I guess we just have to keep speaking the languages to them, right?
Oh, someone is asking if they can join.
Um, I don't know how I'm going to share the link with him, or how I'm going
Oh,
to invite him. I don't know how.
if I don't know, I don't know either because, well,
Yeah, we are just learning how to do this, so I don't know how I'm going to add you.
and he's spamming your comment section now, but it's all good. We like it. Keep
Exactly. Yeah. So what? Like, I guess from my experience, and then from what I have learned from the therapist, and from what you just said, I guess I just have to keep on speaking the languages to him, right?
Yep.
Because initially what I knew was that children who are able to speak multiple languages are very brilliant. And so, like, for me, I decided that I'm going to teach my son the languages that I know how to speak. Okay, from the onset. I guess that is why one of the reasons I wrote
Mhm.
the books in our language, the Nzima language, translating the English language to the Nzima language for kids. It's actually not for kids alone, just the basics of the Nzima language. So um and I think I'm going to continue doing that. And my next project is also to even look at the Fanti language and other African languages too. So yeah.
You're doing a good job. You're really doing a lot. You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm going to
You're doing well.
try.
You're
I'm
doing
going
well.
to try and then do that so that, yeah, at least the languages that I know how to speak, he will have access to the books that I have written. So at least if I'm able to do Fanti, I'm able to do Tree, he has those books, and then those books will also be available to anyone who wants to buy them on Amazon. So yeah.
Someone says, "How good is your fufu?"
I know. So tap my name and you just tap the other thing and it will add me. I tried doing that, but I didn't see. Yeah, I tapped your name, but I really don't see any option to add you. Yeah.
We'll figure it out as along the way. Well,
Along the way, we are going to do more series on this. So maybe I'll subscribe to your channel, Patra, so that next time I'll send you the link for you to join us. So yeah.
all right. So the question was how is the what is the best way to raise a child with multiple language? And we already touched on that in our
Mm-hmm.
very first question. So the best thing is practice the language with them. The saying practice makes perfect. So
Yeah.
the more you do it, the better they get. So just keep practicing the language with them over and over. So I watched a video, I don't remember, it was like a couple. One was Italian, the other one was French or something like that. And each parent spoke the language that they speak with their child. Kids were fluent in both languages. So
Yeah.
the best advice is keep practicing or speaking the language that you speak with the kids.
Mhm.
Like I said, they are like sponges and they will absorb everything. And in time, they will figure
Exactly.
out this is fancy, this is tree, this is French, this is Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, are bilingual children late talkers? So I would say to an extent, yes.
Yeah.
If there are other kids in the house,
Mm-hmm.
it's quick.
It
But
is quick.
if it is just them, it takes a while because they have to interact with other kids in school to learn the usual language. They have to interact with their family at home to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are other kids around who speak all of those languages, they pick it up quick. But if they're
Yeah.
not, then it takes a while. So it's a yes and no answer for me.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I'll just continue with what you just said. That is true. At least from my experience, as I already said, my son is currently having like I'll say he's late with his speech right now because of the languages that I have been speaking. At least that is how I understand it. Like I speak different languages to him here in the house, and he's at home with me right now, so he doesn't have access to other kids,
Mm-hmm.
so that also is kind of also affecting him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is another problem. So it's a yes and a no. If they have access to other kids who speak the same language, they
Mm-hmm.
are able to pick up faster. But then if they don't have access to other kids and it's just you, like me being at home, being a homeschool mom, and then also doing a side hustle. So like I have a schedule. I spend some time with him for his homeschool, and then I do my side hustle. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not all the time that I'm with him. Okay, some
Okay.
I leave him to play on his own, learn to be independent, and
That,
so like with that, he doesn't have access to other children. I'm thinking of finding friends over here whom he can go and spend some time with their kids and then play with them so that he can learn some stuff. So maybe even if I start with 30 minutes a day, he goes out and play with the other kids. That would be very good for him. So yeah, that is
that-
it's a yes and a no. Yeah.
that's really good. Kids interacting with other kids really helps them develop. Like I
Yeah.
like it when we go to church and my child just sees the other kids and starts interacting with
Yeah.
them. Even though she can't really speak, she will just,
Yeah.
she's very affectionate. She'll hold your hands. She will hug you. Like you just in all the other kids' faces. She's very social
Yeah. Mhm.
mom. So yeah,
Yeah, when
helps.
this one goes to the mall, the same thing. He's
Oh,
running towards other kids. He's running towards people, smiling to people, and all those
yeah.
things. Yeah. So, yeah.
That helps. That helps a lot. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. So the next question is, what language should I use at home? We kind of touched on it. Use the language that you speak or all the languages you know, and
Yeah.
how to be rich in multiple languages. What's your take on that?
Same here. As I said, I mostly speak the Nzima language to him, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes English. My husband speaks English to him, and sometimes I just chip in with the fancy language at some point. I don't speak Chi a lot to him because I'm not that good in Chi. So it's mainly the Nzima language, more of the Nzima language, and then sometimes fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah. Then I try and then speak English as and when I can. The thing is, you get so used to it because it is your language. So most of the times, the first thing that comes out of your mouth, like the Amanenzima,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up speaking the Nzima language. So most of the time, when I open my mouth, the first thing that comes out of my mouth, the first language that comes out of my mouth is the Nzima language. And then sometimes I would then say I would then repeat that thing in the English language,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I said I should do. If
Yeah.
I spoon, Adele, I started laughing when she said that, but yeah, that would make the
Yeah.
child.
Yeah. So yeah,
Spoon,
that's what I do.
spoon, and the Nzima version is Adele. So
Yeah.
you are right. I think we should read some of the comments and then we'll continue with the next one.
Oh, okay.
So he says, "How did you add her?" Because she already had my information and could send the link to me at the
Yeah.
beginning. I think if
Mm-hmm.
you to join at the beginning, it's really hard to add you. Like there, I've seen other people add people in between the lives, but we are new to
We are new
the
to this.
collaborative life, so we don't really. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
I'll watch another other YouTube videos, and then the next time we come here, we will be pro on this
Yeah,
one on how to add people. Don't
and
worry.
then he says you got to raise a child by loving them and by not having money by just giving all your love to them. Well, sometimes you need money too. Kids are
Yeah, you
expensive.
need, you need money too sometimes. The love is very important,
Yes.
It's really important. And but then the money is also a factor. You cannot do without money. That's something that we need to be realistic at some point. Yeah.
Mm. All right. Our next question is: can a child with language or learning difficulties learn more than one language? Yes.
They
There,
can.
there are kids who can do sign language, and that's a language on its own. I really want to learn how to sign though. I,
Oh,
I'm.
this evening I tried doing something when we came back from the mall. Like I sat down trying to set up the camera and everything, and then he came to pull me to the kitchen, and I realized he was hungry. So I'm like, and then I remembered, I'm like, I can start using sign language with him. Why didn't I even remember? So I'm like, sweetie, do this. Food, food, food. And then he was smiling. He's like,
Oh.
I'm like, okay, you do this food, okay? You do this food. He was like,
Oh.
food. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
let's do this food when you're hungry. Just do this food for me. Than pulling me to the kitchen. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, the sign language is good. Like a child, I believe children can learn multiple languages no
Yeah.
matter how difficult it is for them to learn.
Hmm? They
It's
can.
learning a language at an early stage. Like that's why you have to try and then teach them at an early stage.
Exactly.
Just speak to them in that language right from birth, and then they will get it. It doesn't matter if they have difficulty in learning. I think language is just different. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go to the next question. Would it be better to start teaching the second language after children have a good start on the first? In my opinion, I think they should go parallel. It should be side by side because if you teach one before the other, the kid might become more interested in one and will not want to learn the other one at all. But if you start at the same time, they will learn. Like I had a cousin who spoke only English, even though she could understand Enzima. She'd be like, "What is that? I don't want to learn that." Like, because started with just the English, she's like, "I don't want to learn that." But I feel like when she gets older, she would want to know the Enzima language. So
Yeah.
you have to start both at the same time, so the child has like an equal grounds or understanding of both languages. If
Languages.
it's going to be hard trying to introduce the new one.
Yeah, exactly. Same with me here. Like, I'm on this with you. You have to speak both languages with them. You have to try. You don't have to teach them one and then after that try and then teach some. It does work for some
Some,
tribes,
mm-hmm,
like our some countries. Like I had a colleague in school.
mm-hmm,
He's an Indian. Okay,
mm-hmm,
so when they had their children, they made sure that they only spoke the Indian language at home.
mm-hmm.
So the child will normally visit their house. They will invite us for dinner and all those stuff. And the child doesn't know how to speak English.
Oh,
Like their kids do not know how to speak English. So when they went to school, now they speak English.
that is a good way too. That is
Yeah.
actually a good way.
So So it actually depends,
Yeah.
okay? Because their mom was homeschooling them. They were
Oh.
at home, so they only spoke the Indian language. And now when they went to school, they are speaking English. So now they can speak both languages.
Oh. That
Yeah.
way, it's you're right. You're right. So I guess
Yeah. But for
Ola.
me, taking me for instance, my son started daycare. So he was going to daycare
Mm-hmm.
at an early age. So definitely he was getting the English at daycare, he was getting the English from his dad, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes a little bit from me. So when he comes home, I just have to speak my language to him. Or when I'm with him, I have to speak my language to him.
Yeah.
So that was for me, I was doing the parallel one. So it depends on your situation too, you know.
That's yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Everybody's like there's no wrong or right answer. Like whichever works for you, use it. You
Yeah.
can one
Hmm.
and use the other. With ours, like I said, my mom will speak our language with us. I will speak fancy with my friends. I learned to be with people in the boarding house, and then English we speak English at school. So
Yeah.
you can do whichever works for you. So yeah, that sounds okay. So the next question is, it I didn't start at birth. Is it too late now? I don't think it is late to teach a kid language. So at birth, even though they say read to them, they will understand, blah blah blah. I don't think they would understand. I don't think they would understand as babies. But then as they are growing and they are picking up things and they are trying to get your attention on things, at that stage it's critical that they would understand what you're saying. Like my daughter, when she's being mischievous and you say stop, she'll stop it and then she'll put her hands at the back. Like, or if she's opening a drawer and you're like, close it, she'll close it and then she'll run away. Or if she's taking something you're telling her, don't take it, she'll take it and then she'll bring it to you. So that is the stage. As a baby, you talk to them, they are there. Like they'll just be there. But at the stage where they are active and they are able to talk and they are able to move, that
Hmm.
stage where you have to be more interactive with them.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. What do you think?
Can you repeat the question again?
So the question is, I didn't start at birth. Is it too late now?
Okay. In my opinion, it's not too late to learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
In as much as it's good to start at birth, it's not too late to teach your kid your language.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can see that even adults are now even trying their best to learn languages.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity to teach your kid your language or
Do
different languages that you can speak, just grab that opportunity and
it.
teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Grab that opportunity and teach them because you will never know where they will need it in this era or in this stage of this world or in this time of this
Mm-hmm.
world. Language is really important,
Yep.
so you will never know where they will need them. So it's important, it's
Mm-hmm.
vital that you teach them. Like there's been instances that like Ghanaians have traveled to China, America. They'll speak their language, especially like the Chi, which is all over the place. Like they will speak Chi, and then they will think, okay, the person, maybe the Chinese person or the American
Will
person
understand it.
standing beside them doesn't understand the language, and then
Oh, and it's a
unfortunately, to their surprise, the person understands the language. So
I've seen
that is
like, oh, you speak the language. I've seen this like that.
exactly. And I've met someone here that is an African that has an a company that like
Like,
employs people to interpret languages.
oh,
The
nice.
last time he was even asking me one of the African languages if I know how to speak it. I'm like, no, I only know how to speak in Zuma, Fanti, and Tree. So if you need an interpreter for
And they
that,
don't
I'm here.
usually interpret it for those ones. They usually want like Arabic or
Yeah.
Swahili or Lingala, like the area where I live, there are a lot of Congolese and people from
Mm-hmm.
Africa here. So the languages that are common are those ones. And I've worked in the African store before, and when I did that, I used to practice my French. I studied French in school from grade two all the way to senior high, form four. I studied French. But then
Mm-hmm.
because I don't practice language, you have to practice.
Yeah,
Practice. I'm not fluent. But then at the African store, when I meet people who speak French, I try to practice my French with them. I
it's
miss
good.
it. What I say, like I'm trying to.
It's very important for me. For me, I always get sad that I forgot my French language. I still beat myself
Oh,
like for it, cause like I spent 2 years in Ivory Coast with my auntie when I was
oh,
little, and
2 years.
yeah, and I remember when I came back. I was very little, so
I
I
did
when I came
10
back.
in
I went when I came back to Ghana, I couldn't even speak the Nzuma language, you know. I
Oh,
had forgotten the Nzuma language and I was only speaking the French language. And
oh,
then at some point I forgot the French all over.
oh,
And
oh.
one thing that also contributed to it was that in Ghana, I don't know if you've had that experience. Most of the French teachers were mean. Most of the French teachers were mean. They were
Monsieur Tai. But Monsieur Tai was not, but my in the boarding house, the French teacher, I've even forgotten his name. And he was an Ewe French teacher. That man, he would cane you for no reason. Conjugate
exactly. They
papa,
will rush you like
conjugate enter, and then he's standing on you with a cane. So you are
you are scared.
the
Even
French
if you
teachers,
know that thing, you are not able to say it. You know.
yeah, they
So
put a lot of
being
pressure.
scared and all those things, how will you be able to learn when you are scared?
Yeah.
Okay. You develop some hatred for the teacher and the language itself. So
I
I
read about that.
always my dad speaks French fluently. I have like 10 cousins who speak French. My
Oh,
other brother speak French. So like I get so sad that I'm not able to speak it. I get so sad that I forgot, you know.
I,
But it is
I
what it is.
I just know a few French here and there, but I went to Ivory Coast in 2016, but I was there for just 10 days. And they would
Oh,
laugh at me, but I'll try to construct my French. I remember when I did French orals and they asked, what is the French name for handkerchief? And I had forgotten it. I knew it, but I had forgotten it. But then our professor, I said our professor, our teacher said, if you can describe the item, even if you don't know the name, you get the points for it. So I'm like, le matériel effacé, le visage. L'effacer le visage, because effacer, the teacher will say, effacer au tableau, like clean the
yeah,
blackboard.
the
And
blackboard
visage means face. So I'm like,
face.
okay, material was probably material. So le material, and I said that the man, the external examiner, he started laughing. Like he was so, he like I think the whole day he hadn't gotten anybody who was like bold to make their own thing up, and he was laughing at what he's saying, and then he's like, "You done well." I had a three or something like that. I had either two or three. I don't even remember. I think it was three. I don't remember.
Oh, I think
Uh,
I did well. I did well in French, but like that was in
JHS.
junior high school,
Yeah,
JHS. I
yeah.
didn't do French
I think
in senior,
hanky.
senior high school. But even for that, I didn't do French in senior high school. But for some reason, the French teacher
He
had
still
it
got to
with
take.
me.
Was he like the hall teacher or maybe those things?
I
Yeah,
was I was a prefect, and
oh, you
for
were a girls prefect?
I was an infirmary prefect,
Oh, okay.
and then the president for the Catholic Students Union.
Oh, I was the girl
And
prefect, and our assistant headmaster, Mr. Kwete, was the French teacher, and I knew French. So when he asks a question in class and nobody can
that
answer,
prefect,
okay, SP, you must know this. You are the prefect. SP, and then he'll be caning me the whole time whilst he's saying it. SP, you must know. You must know. I'm like, sorry, beg. I can't. The French teachers.
The
I like
French
interpreting.
teachers,
Like,
they are the cause of most of us not being
like
able to speak
SP,
the
you must
French
know.
language.
Oh my goodness. I was a girls prefect. 2012, 2013 academic year. So it's like SP, you must know. You must
Oh God. Yeah,
know.
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Girls
But
pre-
for some reason this French teacher had issues with me and me too. I didn't give I
Oh,
didn't I just didn't care. It got to a point when I see him, I'll just pass. I won't even greet him. I'm like, I haven't done anything to you. I don't know what your problem is. I'm just doing my duties. So yeah.
yeah, people like,
But
people like that. I didn't have an. It was a math teacher when I was in JHS who would like pick on me. It was during an exam, and it was a pre-technical skills, and that was one of the subjects I wasn't good in because of all the drawing involved.
mhm.
But then the previous year, my uncle who teaches maths and pre-tech was like, "Come and sit down," and then he went through like the BEC questions and explained things to me. So when we're doing our final exam, guess the questions that came. They used BEC questions. So when I saw the question, I smiled, and then I lifted my head up. This teacher was looking at me. It's like, you're cheating. I'm like, sir, this is false accusation. The man is like, you think you know how to speak?
You think you know how to speak the
So because
English?
of that, he was constantly caning me for unnecessary reasons. Like, oh, you came to school late, even if I was there early. Yeah, you weren't sitting down. Like he was always looking for an excuse to cane.
True.
And then later on, I found out he was Catholic. I saw him at I saw him at church one time, like a different parish. We went for a program there, and he was there. I'm like, so this teacher, you're a Catholic and you're treating me like. But then after I finished school, he saw me in town one day. It's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, oh, now you're asking me how I'm doing.
This teachers. So we have a question
Yeah,
here. Kosuki Fire. What languages does your husband speak? Are you asking
I think we can both
Marian
answer.
or me?
My husband speaks English, but then I think he studied German in school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear him speak it fluently, but he knows some German words. I would say like for him, and I think a little Spanish here and there because his close friend is from Mexico. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but I'm not. I don't think he's fluent. He understands one or two words here and there.
That's good. Yeah. Um, what is the next question?
Okay, the next question is: if I expose my child to another language from birth, will my child become bilingual just like that? So my response to this is: it won't be just like that. It has to be consistent. Consistently practicing the language gets it there.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce it at birth, like you went to Ivory Coast at when you were young and you could
Yeah.
speak the language, but then when you came back, you didn't have people to speak the language to. It
Yeah.
disappeared. So it doesn't just come like magic. The child has to
Mhm.
experience it. The child has to live in it
Yeah.
before they will get it. So it has to be practiced consistently speaking your language with the kid, and then the child will get it. I'm not an expert, but this is things that I've seen with my younger
Yeah.
siblings.
Yeah. At least
I'm speaking like I'm an expert, but I'm not. But this is from experience. What I've
yeah, from experience. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's same from me.
Mhm.
As you said, like it has to be consistent. Otherwise, the kid will forget it. It like you just introducing it to them at that age doesn't mean it's just going to stick. You have to continually talk to them in that language or speak to them in that language, communicate with them in that language, and it's going to stick. So yeah,
All right. The next question is: why does my child refuse to speak my language? You wanna go first, or should I go?
you go first.
So it could be that they've gone to school and their friends are all speaking English, and then now they're acting brand new. Like, hey, I don't that other language. Or it could also be that they are being teased about it, like in school or some. I don't know, but That's what I'm saying. My cousin, I have cousins who understand Nzema, they understand Tree. They were born and raised here, but they can't speak the language.
Mhm.
And the parents speak the language, so I don't know why they can't speak the language. Like, my mom enforced rules in our house that when you go to school you can speak your fancy and English at school. In this house we speak in Zim. So it was that was what made us speaking, because my dad would speak English with that and my mom would be upset. My mom would be like, if it's up to you, these kids will not learn our language. Oh, they will speak it in Zim. So it was my mom who made us our language. Like, she was constantly getting on our case about it. Like, there was a times like, anybody who speaks fancy in this house, I'll knock you. So she was very aggressive about it. Like, you are going to speak the language if you like, and I'm grateful I can speak it
Yeah, it's good.
because
It's
of that.
good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. As she said, maybe it's about shyness, and it's also about you not introducing it to them early on from
Yeah.
the onset. And then also some kids, I don't know. Like I have had cousins who just don't want to speak the language at all. They think they want to speak just English, and like it's funny, you know.
Mhm.
And when we grew up, they now wish they are able to speak the language, but it's late now. Eh,
Well, it's not too late if they
it's not too
if
late.
they
It's not
want
too
to.
late. They can still learn,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like they could have learned it earlier. It would have been easier for them because like as a kid, you pick up languages
But,
very fast.
yep,
You pick up languages faster than an adult.
that,
So
that's true. Yeah, and our last question. Yay! It's, what if there would be a second child in the family? So I think with ours, because of the grown-ups, it was easy for the younger ones to pick up the language fast. It's just like walking. If there's already a kid in the house who's like running around and walking around, and there's a
they
new,
work.
he would want to keep up with the first
Yeah.
child or whoever is in
Mhm.
the house. So my sister stood up and started walking. She didn't crawl. She just stood up and started walking. So if
Mhm.
there are kids around, the child learn from those kids. So we spoke the language. My siblings speak the language. Like, my brother was kind of acting brand new sometimes and wouldn't speak it. When our cousins from Enzima came and they couldn't speak Fanti or English, I was surprised he could actually speak our language. So he was just not speaking it. When we're kids, I have cousins visiting and then Ben is speaking Enzima. I'm like, hey, now Ben, I can't. Because he would only speak it with my mom and wouldn't want to speak it, but then he could speak really good. And the one thing that I feel like helped our eczema was the fact that we always went to visit our grandmother. We'd go to our hometown, we'll hang out with my cousins. Like, my younger sister could speak all three languages, but then when we went to visit my grandmother in Eke, her eczema picked up really good. When she came back, she was speaking fluent in Zima. And like I said,
Mhm.
she could speak tree really well. And that was because she went to Kumasi to visit my mom's friend and lived with her for a while, and she could speak the tree. Fanti, that's what everybody speaks at school.
Yeah.
So it's all up. If there is a child who is already speaking all these languages, it's so easy for the kids coming after them to pick up the language. And this is not an expert opinion. This is my personal.
Experience. Yeah. It's from experience. Experience is better than an expert opinion from from my opinion. So yeah. What I would say is that if you have an adult in the house or if you have a grown up child in the house, it really helps the child to pick up very fast in
Yep.
the aspect of language and any other aspect of their milestone growing up. Um, and I wish we have a child here in the house. I'm
Yeah.
always telling my son that I wish we have another child in the house that could play with him to be able to pick up languages, be able to learn new stuff. But I guess that is life. You just have to it's take it one day at a time. But yeah, if you have an adult in the house or if you have other children in the house, they are able to pick up quickly.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's true. All right, so we have exhausted all our questions, and it's almost an hour, like 5 minutes to an hour. We've actually stayed here longer. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and over to you since this is your channel.
Oh god, like this is so awesome. Like I enjoyed this
I'm
conversation to
glad you
the
did.
fullest. I did, and it's really interesting that we could share these opinions, and it feels like we had uh
Similar experiences.
yeah, most of our experiences are kind of like alike, you know. So and it's really good that we've been able to share our experiences to our audience, and I hope people have learned from us. We are looking forward to people's comments to also learn from you guys what you think about what we shared over here. Share your experiences in the comment section if you watch this video. um, and we'll let you know we didn't do well with the announcement of this one. With our next one, we'll try and then make a flyer and then do an announcement on it so that you guys can join us. The next session, we are going to have it on Marian's channel. So, Marian, you have to let them know your channel so
Yeah.
that although we'll add it to the banner, but then we'll
The
do
name of
it.
my channel is CraftyAjo. So CraftyAjo. So the name is actually Ejo in Nzima.
Mm-hmm.
Monday born. I was named after my. I'm not Monday born, but my grandmother is, and I was named after her. So Mami Ejo. But
Mm-hmm.
when I was trying to start my startup and I was trying to figure out a name for it, my brother is like, "Why don't make it short and make it AJO?" And
Mm-hmm.
how come the name came up? My brother, he came up with the name, so that's how come it's a Joe like that. But the name is Mami Ejo. So
That's awesome.
hi Maverick, we are about to leave the live.
Hello,
Welcome,
Margaret.
welcome, welcome.
So, thank you all so much for joining again. Before we leave, I also want you guys to know that I've written a children's book,
Mhm.
children's story book. I started writing children's book, but I wasn't. It was just on languages, trying to um, introduce my language to my son, but then now I have gone into fully writing children's storybook. So we'll be having the launching of the book on January 4th, 2 p.m. Central Time. So I did post the flyer here on YouTube, so you can check my channel and then go to the community section. You will see everything. You have all the information there. You can RSVP and then join us. So this is the book.
Lovely.
This is it.
I have to
So
copy. I already have your other three books. I have
yeah, so
that.
yeah, it's I so I'm just going to give you I'm going to make a video, like a trailer video on it. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but
You do really well. Like you're always researching into ways to make your channel better, and I like that about you. Like
thank you.
you are very proactive about things. Like I've written a list of titles that I want to write stories on, but I need motivation to start it. I need to come to
I
you and get
still
motivation from you.
I still haven't been able to like I watched a lot of YouTube videos today, but like yesterday I just couldn't sleep, so I was so tired and I ended up sleeping like an hour today, so I feel refreshed now. So I'll be able to work on it, if not this evening, tomorrow, work on it and then um post it. But yeah. So I'm planning on doing an online launch January 4th and then a physical launch. A physical launch, I don't know when. Initially, I was planning January 11th, but then I went to the library and then I realized that, oh, it is there is more requirements on it than expected. But then if I'm patient with it, it's going to be very good. They are going to help me a lot.
Okay.
Like they are going to help me with marketing.
Oh.
Like they said they have authors, like they have a session for authors where
Oh.
they invite authors to come to the library, and
Wow.
people in the community come there. So the authors share information about their books, the community asks questions about their books, and then they sell their books there. And then
Wow.
also they give you a chance to leave some of your books in the library. So like you kind of donate some of your books to the,
That,
I think they
that
have
is
like
great.
50, they have 15 libraries here. So I
Wow.
can donate 15 books to all the libraries here.
Oh
And
wow.
then they'll have one book at each of the libraries. So
That is
kids
I
can
think
go and then um
take time you should do it because in the end it's going
yeah,
to
to
give your
take
book
time.
out
So I'm like, if it's
more
going to take
people.
time and you guys are going to market and everything, I'm just going to do my online launch and then
Oh,
wait patiently. Whilst waiting patiently, I can work on other books and
that,
then add, add to it. So that is the plan right now. And I actually went there today. I did video myself, like I recorded myself whilst going, and then I had like whilst having the conversation with the librarian, I asked his permission to like record. Like I didn't bring his face in
okay.
the video, but then everything he was saying was recorded. So I
Wow.
plan on
That's content.
exactly. I
Wow.
plan on
You do
I
well.
plan
You do really well. You do
I
well.
plan on
Uh,
uploading that one on my personal page, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, on my profit. This is my our family page,
Okay.
so I'm just going to let it be about our family. It's
Yep.
going to be a family contest, but on my personal page, I plan on doing content on how to write children's books,
Oh,
how
nice.
to use Canva, how
That's
to like start an Etsy shop, how to start print on demand. I think I'm going to do that very soon. So
that's
yeah.
great. That is great because the funny thing is my personal page is older than my whatever page.
Mhm.
But then that page has more followers than my personal page. So it depends on how you use, how often you use it.
Yeah, my personal page has like 41 subscribers.
Oh, yeah, way ahead of me. I'm 30.
I think the videos over there are more of the Nzima videos, and
Oh,
then I did one graduate school like UCC invited me to give
oh,
a seminar on how to apply for graduate school
that is
um
great.
in the United
You went
States.
to
So
UCC. There's a guy here at Western Michigan, like the school that I go to,
no,
who
no, I actually attended University of Mines and Technology.
oh, okay. Okay.
Someone just reached out to me that
Wow.
they realized that I have more information on graduate school
Yeah.
applications, so they would want me to um organize a seminar for them on
I like
graduate
that.
school application.
Know there are many
So
people who wouldn't give you these tips because you have to pay them, but you are selflessly giving out these information without charging anybody. I just
no,
put it
it's
out there. God bless you for doing that, and
thank you.
your cup is going to overflow.
You know, yeah, I just recorded it, and then I'm like, some people do ask me for information on graduate school. I'm like, I might as well just record it. So whenever someone asks me for information, I'm like, hey, I have everything over here. I
Oh
did a PowerPoint and everything.
wow,
I
you but
answered
please,
people's questions. So this is the link. Just watch it and follow everything. If you
wow.
have any question, come and ask me. So that is what I do. I feel like it
Yeah,
has been very helpful for people. So
yeah,
yeah.
me, I haven't done a video per se, but then when anybody comes to me asking about school, I didn't do graduate school. I came here undergrad, like a transfer.
Mhm.
So that is my experience. So when they ask me, I came here with school and this is what I did, and then I also give an explanation to them on how.
Oh, I think if you came with undergraduate, I think we'll talk after this one,
Okay.
because I'm struggling with undergraduates with one person, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I feel so bad. I'm like,
Oh, it's
I
very
don't.
difficult to get scholarship for undergrad. You
Mhm.
get like a full scholarship. It depends. If you're
Mhm.
not into sports, or those other things, like to get a full scholarship. If you're not into like this STEM, also you might not get the full scholarship for undergrad. You
Mm-hmm.
get partial. A lot of the people I know, I got partial scholarship. Some other people I know got partial scholarship, and you know, it's expensive, so
Yeah, it
you
is.
have to figure
Did
out.
your school require a SAT?
No, some schools do, but
Yeah.
others they don't really care
Yeah,
about.
the person wrote SAT, but then he didn't get the thousand three
Oh,
hundred.
you
He
could have
got like
just.
is it 1015 or 1012?
Oh,
I'm like,
the thing, I used my. I already had yeah, they call it associate degree, but I already had a diploma from University of Ghana. So that,
oh, okay.
but I know someone who used their WASI, and they didn't even get like really great grades. Like they had E's and D's and stuff in,
Mhm.
and they still got the admission. And they had stayed home for like 3 years before they applied for the school. So
Okay,
if
okay, yeah,
you
we'll talk
can,
about it.
yeah,
God, this is why like connecting with people and then sharing information is so good. Like I've been so worried about this. Thank
oh.
you.
So
Thank you.
we can it can be a different session.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much. So
No, the
guys,
pleasure is all mine.
guys, please, January 4th, I need all the support. The book will be live on Amazon.com, Amazon UK, like wherever there is Amazon, the book will be there. So
Right.
just get some for yourself. It is basically teaching Kate on teamwork, and then also clean water,
Mm.
teamwork, and then clean the
It's
importance
all
of clean
important.
water. So please and please, wherever you are, just join us January 4th and then get one for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Just get one.
Good
It's
job.
like I'm really excited about it. This
Good
is the proofread, but I really like it. Like I was so surprised when I saw it. I was like, wow. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I need to start putting my thoughts into action. Start right. Like I
You
have
know?
actually not written, but my sister has done a
Mhm.
on my kid. Whatever I tell her the kid has done, she comes up with a story. And she has like a series. She writes it and be like, "This is the next one on the series," and it's all great books. Like it's very interesting.
She has to publish it at some point, you know. Yeah, like when I went to the librarian was like, my wife has written a story. She doesn't know how to publish it. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
all here. I'm
you can
here.
do a
If she
section.
needs any help, and the librarian was like, okay, will you be willing if we bring in people who wants to write children's book? Will you be willing to teach them? I'm like, yeah,
Can
I'll
be
be
a
willing
job
to
too.
teach them. I'm like, you have even given me an idea. I didn't know they don't have
You
that here.
can
How I can
do
start
that.
that. I can start that over here.
You can.
Yeah, I can start that over here.
And,
So I'm like, wow, that is good. I didn't realize they didn't have that over here because there is a lot of them in Minnesota. A lot. And
uh,
I'm surprised they didn't have that here. So good
uh,
to know.
all right, sis. It was nice chatting with you. This was a great
Yeah.
conversation, and I hope
Yeah.
we'll continue with this series
Hmm.
and come up with different questions. And please, audience, whatever you want us to talk about, you can. You do you have your email in your description box?
Yeah, I
You
do.
can
I do
email
have my
Tina.
email.
I have mine there. I need to put it there. Or it's probably there. You can email it to Tina or me, or you can just post it here. And when we go back to watch, we will take
Yeah.
questions and then we can have a discussion on it.
Yeah, even under any of our videos, when you comment, we look at our comments very well.
We do. We
So
don't have a lot of subscribers, so we
we
read.
look at your
We
comments.
read that.
We look at your comments very well. So yeah, you can put any topic you want us to discuss under any of our videos, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. So, and please, my channel is trying to get to 4,000 watch hours. Right now, I'm at 1,000 watch hours. So please and please, watch my videos and then help me get to 4,000 watch hours. Uh Beloved, we are from Ghana. We are in the United States. Please subscribe to my channel. Kindly subscribe to Crafty Ajo's channel. Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you. All right. Bye. We'll talk to you guys in the next one.
Yeah. Bye.